I did feel pressured from friends asking, when are you guys starting a family because you are getting older. The first year, it didn't happen for us. Second year, nothing. Third year, we decided, let us go to a fertility specialist just to check. Infertility hurt us as women, but our community wounded us. It was the most painful, brutal experience of our entire life. The fertility medication had failed. We just knew that one day we'll be parents. My name is Holdstock, but everybody calls me Umgamlungu Omhlophe. My husband is Heino Holdstock from Durban. The biggest culture shock for my husband was definitely how Black families are united. Literally, my cousin's child is my child. My sister's daughter is my daughter. He didn't know that. And I didn't know that his family is just me, him, and the kids. So for me, it was a big culture shock that, okay, for me, my grandmother's mother is still my family. The biggest moment that pops up for me was the first time he looked at me in a way that I've never seen myself. He didn't see me the way I always thought I was. He saw a beautiful, confident, strong-willed woman that needs to understand her power. So he helped me understand my power and find my voice. Something that I didn't know I lacked up until I met him. And he cultivated each and every aspect of my life. When it comes to me studying, me learning a new skill, that's him. That is the driving force behind. Even me being on social media, that's him pushing me to knock on doors, to sit on tables, and to claim my position because I belong in those tables. The best moment for us was holding our son for the very first time. That was the best moment for both of us. My husband does not know how to speak isiZulu. My children, however, they understand more than him. But my children, they speak fluent Zulu better than him. He forget, amanzi is water. And then 2 minutes later, he's like, what did you say this is? He doesn't. When I introduced my husband to my family and my friends, they expected me to date a white man because I didn't date anybody. That's okay, you're not attracted to this race, but probably you're attracted to this race. They loved me. That's all I know. And I was the first girlfriend he introduced to his mother. They fell in love with me. They fell in love with my personality, and yeah, they loved me instantly. My husband did every single thing expected of him as a son-in-law, even though it was something that he didn't understand. But to honor my family and to honor where I come from and to honor my culture, he did everything that was expected. We didn't have just a wedding, we had weddings. In my culture, we have different ceremonies, so we had those ceremonies. And both families were involved. I've never ever felt judged or even questioned if people accept us. When we were dating, even now as married, I've never ever felt they don't accept our relationship or they are racist towards us. I know other couples go through that, but honestly, we have never experienced any of that. There has not been any time where we felt external factors are pressuring us, other than when we were going through infertility, simply because people didn't understand why we were not having kids. Because they were not in our relationship, they did not know what was going on behind closed doors. So I did feel pressured, not him, but I did, from friends asking, when are you guys starting a family because you are getting older. I am a career-oriented woman, so they assumed it's all about my career. I've always had problems when it's come to women health, fertility. Since I was a teenager, I've always struggled when it's come to those issues. So when we got married, instantly we wanted to try to see if we can get pregnant on our own. The first year went by, it didn't happen for us. Second year, nothing. Third year, we decided, let us go to a fertility specialist just to check. So he checked both of us. Obviously, the problem was not with my husband, the problem was with me. It was devastating for me because I've always wanted to be a mother. It was also devastating for him because he always wanted to be a father. One of the reasons why we got together is because we wanted to make babies. So when we realized we can't have babies, it was hard for both of us. The first thing I thought about when the doctor told me that we cannot have kids was, I understand what he's saying, I respect him because this is his profession, but I knew inside me that I'm going to be a mother. I had a stubborn kind of faith. We already had a name for our child. We knew we were going to be parents, regardless the fact that the fertility medication had failed. We had went through multiple losses. We just knew that one day we'd be parents. You could not change our minds. So during the 9 years of our infertility journey, I never ever thought of giving up. I'm one of those people, I am stubborn when it comes to what I want. I did every single thing there is to try and get pregnant. And when everything else failed, I still didn't give up. I still did my research. What else can help us? I was encouraged with the fact that I already had my son's name. I already knew what God had said concerning my son. So there was no way I can give up on a dream. I know what he's here for. So I already knew he was coming and what his role is going to be in our lives and in the lives of other people. I prayed. I relied on friends. I relied on my husband. Every time when I felt like, okay, I'm having another miscarriage, I had people to call. I had support structure. I had people to lean on. I had people to believe crazy with me. When the doctor was saying you can't, I had people that were agreeing that we can. So that's how I coped. Throughout the whole 9 years, we surrounded ourselves with people that were like-minded, people that spoke our language, people that saw this for us. That's how I coped. When it comes to my own community, yes, I did receive backlash. Infertility hurt us as women, but our community wounded us. We go through infertility in our own bodies, having to accept that our bodies are rejecting what is natural for other women. But society put stigma, they put names, they call you names, and that puts pressure on a situation that is already hard. So I absolutely did. From my peers, I did receive comments, advice, questions that I felt were too personal, where people will suggest, maybe try this, maybe do this. So absolutely, I did receive pressure. I felt judged particularly because I love working. People assumed it was because I'm always working. My body is rejecting everything because I'm always busy. So I did receive rejection. At no point did I feel or think that our cultural differences was the cause of us struggling with infertility, because I already had the condition prior to marrying my husband. When it comes to treatments, my condition was severe. I had fibroids. Sometimes I will not ovulate. I had multiple cysts that will have to be removed. I was hospitalized 6 times in 2 weeks. I will be hospitalized because I will be bleeding excessively. I will be hospitalized because I have conceived, but my body is rejecting the child. I will be hospitalized because mentally my condition is affecting me. Infertility does not only affect women on their body, it also affects us mentally because it's all we think about. I was going downhill when it comes to depression, when it comes to infertility. Hence, I'm passionate when it comes to helping women battling with infertility. My thoughts and feelings when I found out that I was pregnant for this first time, I was like, finally. Because each and every woman in my life was already a mother, so it was finally my time. It was the most pure, beautiful moment of my entire life. I cried. I shared with my husband. We both cried. We already had a room for our son. We already had toys for our son. We already had clothes. We prepared for him before he could come. So when we did finally find out that we are expecting him, it was the most joyous time for us as a couple. Our journey was more than just physical. It was also mental, because I believe that your mind plays a very important role in determining success in any task given. So when it comes to us finally conceiving our child, we went to a specialist that helps people eat according to their blood type. So we had to drastically change the way that both of us were eating. I started eating according to my blood type. I had to restrict certain food. I had to rest more, something that my body was not used to. I was forced to literally take a 2-hour nap every day in order for my body to recover and to repair itself. And I started talking to myself in a different way. I started talking to my womb in a different way. I started talking to my situation in a different way. And I believe positive talking, eating healthy, all of it combined helped us to be able to conceive our son. The pregnancy was absolutely difficult. But it was joyful for us because finally I was experiencing what each and every woman experiences. I enjoyed the morning sickness. I enjoyed the tiredness because I had something to complain about. I was complaining like my friends used to complain. I enjoyed the swollen feet. I enjoyed the big nose. I enjoyed it all. We both enjoyed it all. We overdid it with photo shoots. We overdid it with everything because finally we were going to become parents. So it was the most beautiful journey. Even when I was hospitalized because I couldn't eat. Even that in the midst of being in hospital because I'm pregnant. So it was the most beautiful time of our life. Finally finding out that we were pregnant brought us closer together. But I believe our journey to infertility, our journey to getting our son brought us closer together. We appeared confident on the outside, but behind closed doors, we used to cry ourselves to sleep. It was the most painful, brutal experience of our entire life. Cemented us closer together. There are things that we can go through right now that we can look at and be like, we can go through this because we've been through so much during our infertility journey. So it brought us closer together. Having our son was just that cement, that cherry on top. The experience with our second child was different. We didn't go overboard when it comes to preparing, to planning, to buying, to having photo shoots because we were a bit relaxed. We already had our son. But we enjoyed because we knew we were having a girl before we knew that we were pregnant. God told me before I met my husband that I was going to have a son and his name was going to be Hanan and the daughter, her name was going to be Shekinah. My husband and I are very intentional when it comes to teaching our children my culture. We are very, very intentional when it comes to that. There is a way in which I was raised that made me who I am. And there is a way in which my husband was raised that made him who he is. It's easy for my husband to teach my children his culture. Both of us, we are intentional when it comes to raising them, understanding where I come from. It is so important. We not only teach them isiZulu, we teach them the way of living. We teach them the foundational discipline. We teach them the way that I was taught as a Zulu girl. So it is absolutely important for us. It's my husband's dream, not only his dream, but also my mother-in-law's dream that my children need to know isiZulu. Our social media platform started because my husband felt we need to share our journey with somebody that might get encouragement. So we started our Instagram, which then progressed into a blog where we shared our journey. And then we decided, let us just do one TikTok video. And we did a video that went viral and people fell in love with the humor between my husband and I. And then we decided, let us introduce this side of us because the only reason we're on social media is to share about our infertility journey to help other people. Let us just share one video. We shared this video and it went viral and we received more than 2,000 messages from women across the country sharing their stories. And what touched me more than anything was one particular lady who felt like she wants to commit suicide simply because the in-laws are giving her pressure because she can't conceive. Society, her husband. And I felt in my heart, let me do something about this. So I decided to start this initiative where I host infertility awareness events. There are questions I cannot answer because I'm not trained when it comes to fertility or any medical. So I invite fertility specialists, people that can speak to these ladies and answer their questions. The only thing I do is facilitate, and I am an advocate for men and for women battling infertility. In our country, men are forgotten when it comes to things like this, but we do have men that are battling infertility. The moment a boy child is born, we expect the child to grow the family, but we do not understand that he might be born with a condition where he cannot have kids. We do have platforms when a woman is already pregnant and they do not want the child, where they can go and terminate the child for free. But we do not have a platform where a woman battling with infertility can go and get help for free. I'm challenging that in our country, that why we do not have forums for women battling infertility, why we do not have support groups, why we do not teach our community how to respond and how to react to women battling infertility. Because there are questions you cannot ask me when I'm battling infertility. There are comments you cannot make to me when I'm battling infertility. I'm already feeling down, I'm already feeling low. I cannot take the pressure of being asked, when are you getting pregnant? What is wrong with you? Probably you are getting pregnant, but you are killing your children. But these are the conversations that we experience as women dealing with infertility. Hence, I host these fertility events where we can be free in a safe space, we can talk about this as women. And we bring our husbands along because they also have questions. They need to understand how they support these women, because most cases men find themselves with another woman because they want to fulfill this dream of wanting to be a father, and marriages are destroyed.